Welcome back to another Project Rebirth review. Today we're going to take a look at the Bane figure from Batman Missions. Taking a look at the front of the box, in the upper right hand corner we can see a logo that says Batman 80 years, commemorating the 80th anniversary of Batman. And here's a look at the back of the box. The mission's entitled Bane Unleashed, and it shows Bane in battle with Electro Power Batman and Nightwing. As you can see, the battle takes place in a caged area, and you can see that it almost looks like there's people here cheering along this line in the background, so it almost looks like some kind of a cage match or a cage fight. What's that, Prison Breakout Bane? You thought you were the Batman Missions Bane? No. You're so 2018. This is the current year, and there's a new Bane in town. Alright, let's get Bane out of the box. Taking a look at the inner packaging, we can see the Bane figure itself, along with a mace-type weapon. Here's a look at the Bane figure out of the box. The figure has a venom tube that connects from his arm to the back of his head. And here's a look at the companion weapon. You can try to move it a little bit, but it's, for the most part, fairly rigid and will just move back to its original positioning. So what you see here is what you get. Comparing this Bane figure on the right with the Prison Breakout Bane figure on the left-hand side, some differences are immediately noticeable. For example, the Bane figure on the left is far taller and therefore height-wise more imposing. However, the Bane figure on the right is broader across the chest, and his muscles are more defined, and he looks far more like a bodybuilder. The Bane on the left is really a kind of a compilation, in my opinion, of the classic comic book looking Bane and the Bane from The Dark Knight Rises, as portrayed by Tom Hardy. The mask, I think on the left-hand side, is reminiscent of Tom Hardy's mask, and certainly the vest is similar to the vest worn by Tom Hardy. And therefore, that one is kind of a hybrid between the movie and the classic comic book look of Bane. However, the figure on the right is 100% dead-on comic book version, and I love it. Let's take a 360 look at Bane. Let's compare this Bane with some other Batman Missions figures. Here's Bane next to the Night Jumper Batman, with the Stealth Glider Batman, with the Prison Breakout Batman, with Batman Missions Robin, with the Prison Breakout Robin, with the Prison Breakout Bane, with Batgirl, with the Batman Missions Harley Quinn, with the Batman Missions Riddler figure, and finally with Electro Power Batman. I would note that reviews of all these companion Batman Missions figures are available for viewing on my YouTube channel. Please check them out. Alright, so here's my final thoughts with regard to Batman Missions Bane. First of all, I'm well aware that many people are still looking for this figure, and I'm very grateful to have found mine on the shelves at Target, so I'm reluctant to say anything negative about the figure at all. However, I do want this to be an honest review, so I'm going to point out just a few cons before we talk about the positives. The first thing I would change is this weapon. Having the chains be rigid plastic I think is kind of silly, and I would have designed this differently or just not even included it. The next thing that I would change if I could would be the length of the tubing, the Venom tubing on Bane. I think this is just far too long. Much longer than it would be necessary. There's no point of articulation, no punch, or no reach that would require the tubing to be that long. And I could envision this getting snagged or caught and breaking easily if a child was playing with it. Or if this was really Bane in a real fight, I think this would just get, would be a liability where that could get also snagged or pulled on, and it's just not realistic. Finally, the last thing I would change would be the height of the Bane figure. And I realize this is a basic $10 figure, but if you look at him compared to the figure he's supposed to be fighting, Batman's actually taller than Bane, and that just shouldn't be. And if you recall, he was almost the same height as Batgirl and Harley Quinn, and Bane should just be a bigger, taller, and more imposing figure. So those are the negatives. But that said, this is a wonderful, comic-accurate, fierce, and very, very cool figure that I have absolutely no hesitation in recommending. If you see one on a store shelf, grab it, buy it, you won't regret it. Bottom line, should you buy this figure? Hell yes. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next Project Rebirth review.